So I'm here looking at this gizmo. So I'm going to actually do the thermal energy lab to show you how it works. So you're going to decide which object you want to be looking at. So I think I'm going to choose copper as my object, and you can set a bunch of different parameters. So I'm going to choose to use. Let's go with 150 grams of copper. That one more down. And I'm going to start my copper off at 100 degrees Celsius. And I'm going to start my water at, let's go with 20 degrees Celsius. And I'm going to use 2,000 grams of the water. So I'm just going to use the standard amount that's here. Okay, so I've chosen my copper. I've chosen the mass to be 150 grams. I've chosen my temperature of my copper. That's my initial temperature to be 100 degrees Celsius. My initial temperature of my water to be 20 degrees Celsius. And the mass of my water to be 2,000 grams. And so then I actually want to click on the graph before I press play. So now the simulation is going to simulate what would happen if we put 150 gram piece of copper at 100 degrees Celsius into 2,000 grams of water that's at 20 degrees Celsius. So we're going to press play and we're going to watch what happens. So the orange line here is representing the copper. The blue line is representing the water. And so then we've got this final temperature for both of them is 20.54 degrees Celsius. And so we're going to use those values to calculate the specific heat capacity for our piece of copper. Okay, so you just want to make sure that you write down your values in your table in terms of the values that you decide you want to use. You can make the decisions. You also get to decide which object you want to find the specific heat capacity for. So whether that's copper, granite, lead, or ice. You just want to make sure that you record that in your lab. And that's it for this. Now, if you want, you can repeat the experiment. All you do is press reset, and then you press play again, and it will show you the graph again. Okay. The other thing you can do is you can play around with your set amounts and see if you want to set amounts at a different amount. Whatever you decide is up to you. You just want to make sure that you record whatever you actually use as your amount.